Hey, I'm JP from Retro Game Rarities. Thanks for checking the channel out today. Recently I purchased a PS Vita. I had a custom GBA SP 101 line around that I never used, because it put my hands asleep due to the small form factor. So I sold it and banked the cash for a modded import Vita. I have a recommended seller and some tips when buying a used console. Let's go.
Retro Game Rarities.
With approximately $113 from the sale of the GBA on eBay, I went back on eBay for a Vita purchase. I had my buddy do a search for PS Vita 3.65, which is the custom firmware version. Then compared non-modded and pre-modded Vitas, 1000 versus 2000 series, and ultimately landed on a modded 2000 series from the seller Gamer's Vision in Japan. The price point was solid with the seller. For about $125 said and done with shipping and tax, I could get a pre-modded Vita with SD to Vita cartridge and minimal screen scratches. This device actually had no screen scratches, but did have a few minor issues I needed to sort out. More on that in a minute. Since the Vita is packed with tech, you want to check a handful of functions after delivery of your handheld. D-pad, analog sticks, buttons, front camera, speakers, headphone jack, memory card slot, Vita card slot, touchscreen, rear camera, rear touchpad, and the gyro. D-pad and buttons are easy to test when navigating through the menus. However, both of my sticks had drift, which was not disclosed in this listing. With a few sprays of contact cleaner into the stick bases and moving them around, it cleaned up and functioned good as new without the need for replacement or returning the product. To test the more advanced functions out, we'll explore Welcome Park. Welcome Park is a system app to familiarize you with the Vita. To test the rear touchpad, move your fingers around on it and you'll see the globe on the screen rotate. Next, we'll check the cameras. The camera app will give a front and rear view on the display. And the mic. This app has a sample that you can create your own music to. Last, let's check the gyro. With the skating game, you can move the Vita in all directions of rotation to control your skater. These are all a success, so we can move on. With the initial testing out of the way, we can look at the extras that the modded Vita comes with. Out of the box, you'll have 4 apps installed on the SD card, which I recommend purchasing as part of the Vita bundle. PKGJ, I like to call it Package J because it's easier to pronounce, Vita Deploy, Vita Shell, and Adrenaline. Package J is a smorgasbord of pirated apps. Every app that was available on the store digitally for PSX, PSP, and Vita, including DLC, is there. This isn't the entire library, but offers a ton of content. Vita Deploy gives you options to download additional homebrew through the app, such as Adrenaline. Vita Shell is your file manager. I highly suggest setting up FTP for the transfer instead of USB. Wireless is way better if you have high-speed Wi-Fi. With a modded Vita, you can do emulation, homebrew, game ports, and so much more than what Sony intended. And Vita Shell is how you get those files on your system. Lastly, Adrenaline, which is a PSP and PSX emulator on the Vita. This app is amazing and truly unlocks the potential of the PSP. It's basically a shell, so you actually have a PSP running on your Vita. The best part of this purchase is I didn't have to do anything to mod it. The seller made it so easy just to pick up and start gaming with the hacked setup. This opens up your Vita to other emulators, ports, and additional homebrew, of which the scene is very active. If you're looking for a modded Vita this year, I highly suggest checking out this Japanese seller and get your game on, my friends. I'm JP at Retro Game Rarities. Thanks for watching.